You guys remember these? Uh, I got a whole butt ton of these HD paints or whatever. Yeah. They were like 48 cents a pack. I guess everybody hated it. But anyway, it's not bad paint. It's a little runny, but I like to thin my paint anyway. Is it as good as this stuff? No. No, this stuff's a little better. But it ain't, I mean, it ain't bad, guys. It ain't bad. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Storm Giants. You know, I've always said Storm Giants are overrated. No. No, not the miniatures, just the monsters themselves. On paper they look like gods, but unless they're with a team of allies, they don't last long. If the party's of an appropriate level. Yeah, giants in general, they just kind of draw too much attention to themselves, and they're like the focal point of damage. And if you add enough giants to make it challenging, you take the risk of a TPK because it's just that kind of creepy crawly. So this is made out of regular bones. Although it's the new Bonesium, because it is rigid. I don't know, guys. I mean, it's not Bones Black. But, man, it is. They have hardened the Bonesium. On some of these models, it's harder than others, it seems like. My God. Getting that column to go in is rough. Okay. Well, this is a foot. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing, Reaper. Alright, so there's clearly something spectacular here. There we go. Oh boy. We got us a big one. Got us a big one. Well, you're not gonna stay, are you? Well, that's unfortunate. That's easier. Boom, 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 boom. Don't you guys like that dub step? Isn't that nice? Oh yeah, dub, 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 boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah. Let the good times roll. You know, when I was younger, used to hear about some really fun stuff happening at the club, didn't you? Yeah. And then you actually go to the club and you're like, eh. I don't know about you guys, but me and the club, we weren't pals. No. I was too busy playing high quality Dungeons and Dragons. You know, I know my priorities were right. Honestly. There we go. That makes more sense. I had a lot more fun playing Dungeons and Dragons than I did at the club. That's not to say you can't have fun at the club and, you know, and balance that with D&D, but I gotta say, they don't necessarily go together. Did I do these backwards? Let me see that other hand. The hell, Bobby? I feel like that doesn't work. Okay, let me see this. Alright, this is a left hand. So this has to go over here. Yeah. Well, hey, this one stayed in the arm slot better. Alright, we're going to have to use some tacky stuff to hold that in place. Hold that thought while I grab it. There we go. We put the sticky tag. That's the first time I've had to do that. And then this will go right freaking here. And watch the whole thing fall apart as I try to put this here. Always build from the bottom up, guys. That's the lesson here. There we go. There is your Storm Giant, guys. Pretty righteous little model. And it goes right along with our Greek Odyssey set, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, well, Mr. Cyclops did not like Mr. Storm Giant, okay? While we're playing, we're going to talk about how little regard Greater Cyclops would have for such a creature. Yeah. I mean, that post-tack stuff worked well, didn't it? That arm did not fall off. Anyway, so yeah, there are different Cyclopses. A lot of people don't realize that. Even in the Greek mythology, you had your primordial Cyclops, and you had who were, you know, on par with the gods in strength. Some of those actually hung out with Hephaestus or Vulcan, as I recall. They helped him. They were accomplished blacksmiths in their own rights. Then you had what, the 1,000-handed ones, who were. I am not even going to try to say it. These are beings that scared the gods. And then you got Neptune's kids, the Cyclopses. They're giants with nasty, attitudes. They like to eat people and sheep, and they're generally feel entitled to everything. But Poseidon loved them. Poseidon was kind of a different sort himself. But this is the model, guys. It's pretty impressive. And you would not want to tango with this guy, would you? Now let's compare him to some other giants, because I do have some handy. Just so nobody says I'm cheating them of, the visuals. I want you guys to really have an idea of what you're purchasing. Again, I don't know, and maybe you guys can tell me in the comments what miniatures are available, right? In the, so there's a fire giant. In the Kickstarter Bones 5.5, here's a stone giant. Okay, here's another stone. Here, let's get all this out of it. Get out of here, Rimmer has. Get out of here. You're out of here. So, yeah, we're going to have our fire giant. We're going to have, you guys can get out of here. Our Mantis Warrior can hang out, though. Alright, Stony. So you get the idea here. This Storm Giant fits in. Because Storm Giants are really big. They're one notch below a Titan, right? So that's the next thing. Titans, is that coming back? Or have we decided not to do Titans? Here, let's compare it to a Beholder. Just for funsies. My money's on the Beholder, guys. How about you? No? Alright. Okay. I don't know. I guess it all depends. Storm Giants aren't dumb. That's the big difference between your Storm Giant and, say, your Hill Giant. Some of these other giants are really not that bright. A Storm Giant is brilliant, so they should be using every tactical advantage. The problem is they're so damn big, they make a huge target. Spells are going to fly their way. They're going to get the brunt of it. And honestly, like I said, if it's level appropriate, they're just not going to last. However, make fine NPCs if they're not level appropriate. Because, this is a being that does have a lot of abilities that aren't necessarily battle heavy, and could be very useful for role-playing situations. So the Storm Giant is not something I've used a lot in my campaigns. Usually with the giants, and I'm not saying, there are campaigns like where the giants figure in heavily, and I'm not poo-pooing them. I think it's really neat, and I think there's a lot of role-playing potential, especially the ordning and all that they talk about. I think that's a really neat concept that 5e's really starting to delve into. But, in the old days, giants were basically meat shields. And Storm Giants being, they're not evil giants. They're not particularly nasty unless you cross them. If you cross them, you're in big trouble. But, so it wasn't something that I used a lot because you didn't encounter it a lot. Because it's not something you wanted to encounter. If you were, behaving in a way that was conducive to being a hero. Now, if it was a villainous campaign, which would be the only time I'd probably pull one out. Most villainous campaigns do not go to high levels, guys. That's just my experience, and you can tell me in the comments if yours has. Most of the time with the villainous campaign, the party, the player characters are the biggest threat to the other player characters. They end up killing each other. If you're playing an evil character and the situation doesn't warrant coexistence, you're going to see a lot of that. The attrition rate is huge on evil campaigns. And it leads to hard feelings with the players unless they are. It takes a special kind of player, you know, to not get attached to their character and put up with some of the petty stuff that goes on in an evil campaign. And I don't know. If you're a min-maxer and it's like a I want to kill everything campaign, it can work. But if you're trying to do good role playing, it's really tricky. It takes a special group, man. All right, anyway, I hope you find all the miniatures of your dreams. I hope you like the Storm Giant. I think it's actually one of the cooler minis I've actually pulled out. Let's see if we can get a close-up real quick as I head out. And, guys, find all the miniatures of your dreams while you're awake. And keep supporting Reaper because they're making these cool minis, right? You know? You like having this selection? We gotta support the people making it. Take care. Thanks for watching.